All right, we're going to continue on today with Josh Berry, driver of the number 21 for Wood Brothers Racing. If you have a question for Josh, please raise your hand, and we'll get a wireless mic over to you. We'll start over here in the middle.
Hey, Josh. Jonathan Field, the Racing Experts. Coming back to this track, I mean, after the win in the spring and knowing some of the big moments you've had in your career with this track, you know, what is it like?
Yeah, it's always fun coming back here, obviously, anywhere where you win and obviously get your first Cup win and have a couple really good Xfinity wins. It's always fun to come back here and race. And, I'm excited for the weekend, and hopefully we can build off of what we did in the spring and have another solid run.
Yeah, Josh, Roy Akers, Skyview Sports. After your win, it propelled you into the playoffs this year. How much of a combination are you preparing for 2026, and how much are you looking forward to perhaps being a big spoiler in the what's left in the Cup season this year?
Yeah, I mean, we're just going each and every week and trying to perform the best we can. Obviously, try to do what we can to learn about our cars and help Ryan and Joey as much as we can through these last few races. And but yeah, for us, we just want to string together some solid runs and finish the season strong. Guys have been doing a really good job, and just trying to build some momentum for next year.
Go ahead.
Tom Zaleski, Iron County Today. Josh, in the 8 years that I think we've run twice here at Vegas, no one's ever repeated. Don't want to jinx us in any way, but what do you think you need to do to keep your car up front and stay in contention for the day?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be similar to the spring. I mean, we just need to have a strong car and execute all day and have the right strategy and just find ourselves in position. I mean, it's it's gonna be tough. Obviously, everybody's bringing their best this weekend for sure to try to find their way to Phoenix. So it's gonna be a challenge for sure. But like I said, if we just do what we did in the spring and have a solid car and good pit stops and stuff, hopefully we can give ourselves a shot.
Where do you land on the horsepower thing? They're raising it to 750 at all tracks, under a mile and a half next year. Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction. I'm sure everybody would want to have more, but I mean, you look last week with the amount of tire fall off we had and stuff. I mean, the little bit more horsepower is probably I think we're finding our way with all that, right? Like if we continue down the road of the tires wearing out, a little bit more horsepower, I think all that stuff's directional. And if we keep having the tire fall off and stuff like we've been seeing from time to time, then probably aren't going to need 1,000 horsepower to make better racing.
Do you want them to keep going with the more aggressive direction on the tires, or does it get to a point where it could be too much if they kept going down the path they're going down?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is a point for sure, but I mean, it still opens up the strategy so much. I mean, you saw last week, right? Like watching the end of the race and all the different strategies, 3-stop, 2-stop. You take Darlington, for example, whether, when you have people, how they split up the runs and whether you run to even split and stuff, just having the fall off opens up all that stuff a lot more to, where there's not just one strategy. So I think either way, it's still the right direction, I feel like.
Any additional questions? Up here to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Josh, what, from your standpoint, what do you feel like you need to know inside the car in terms of where people are in terms of points, and if NASCAR restricts or limits how much information is passed on to the driver, how might that impact you?
That's a tough question to answer. I mean, it seems like there's a line, although it's a squiggly line, I guess, right? But I feel like we should know the point situation. I think there's too much on the line. I guess everybody can have a different opinion of that, but for someone like me, like, if you line up for a, late race restart or something like, in a race like last week when there's all this chaos, I mean, I think it's nice to know what's going on around you before you weigh the risk of the moves you make, right? I mean, I don't know. Long story short, I feel like if we get to a point where we can't talk about the points at all, then we might as well just punt and have a different system.
Now, why do you say that? Because obviously, I understand your point of view being, hey, let me know. The opposite side is if you know, it opens up the perception of you could do something that helps even if you don't. So when you say, hey, if we can't talk at all, we got to punt, why is that? Because there's another side that there's a perception.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a hard question to answer because I mean, obviously, it could easily be interpreted as laying over or not in different situations. But I mean, for me personally, like I just like to know. I mean, it goes both ways, right? Like obviously, people can think you lay over, but if you miss the corner and slide into Ross and knock him out of the playoffs, then everybody on the internet's going to be the other way against you. You know what I mean? So it's like I just feel like it's just good to kind of have an idea of what you're going up against and how desperate someone's going to be or not. And I mean, I think to me that's where you draw the line, I guess. I mean, if you just let the driver know what the situation is and let them decide what they want to do. I mean, that's what we get paid to do, I guess, right? I mean, if you want to, I mean, I think that's different than, I think just explaining the points, maybe if you're in that situation, is a little different than telling, save your tires or whatever,
And I know you're not the crew chief, but how much the setup or the way you go into this weekend, is it similar or is it significantly different from the spring, in part just because it's been a long period of time and the weather is significantly different?
Yeah, it's similar, but there's some changes. We're on a different tire that we had at, that we ran at Kansas and a couple times before that. So it's a little different tire. So trying to take what we learned there and apply that to here the best we can. And yeah, obviously the weather's different too. But I'd say it's fairly similar. But yeah, we've tried to adjust for the tire and the weather, and hopefully we get it right.
Any final questions for Josh? All right, thanks. Good luck this weekend.